Hi, welcome back. It has been a little bit. And by that I mean it has been like a couple minutes. Discord or the XSplit crashed again. That's okay, because the recording is still fine. Probably. Precisely. I'm counting on you. Hey, wait a minute. What the fuck? The hell's this?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
The hell's this shit?
I guess. Okay.
I'm gonna close it and try reopening it and see if that fixes that. That is weird. Oh, that's what it was. It's just this, but for some reason that broke. Okay. A lot of technical difficulties. That's okay. I made a save state literally right there. Recording is still good. Okay. Okay, for real now. Precisely. Counting on you, Kay. Alright, open that little thief. That almost looks like a handgun.
You need to redo the screen share, by the way.
Ah, yes. Alright, quickly, before anything wacky happens. You just pulled out Little Thief. You didn't miss anything.
I mean, I saw that, like, before you closed the game before.
Yeah. There. There. And there we go.
I wish he was in the Family Guy dub. What the heck is this? Everything's green.
It's like back when Shrek came out.
Like
And they had green popcorn. That's a bad omen. I've come to expect such reactions. This is a recreation of the grounds of the facility that stood here 12 years ago. Based on the documents from the police investigation.
Based on what? Oh, you said, okay. I recreated the scene to show what it looked like when the police arrived at 7 a.m. the next day.
It appears a fair amount of snow had piled up here. Yeah, I heard that the footprints in the snow were prime pieces of evidence. The snow fell during the day, on the day of the incident. So the snow only fell before the crime took place. Which means the footprints wouldn't have been erased by any further snow. I must make sure to pay close attention to these footprints. Yeah, look at that.
Hi, I'm still here for some reason.
What a scoop! Would you look at that? These folks have done turned green!
Maybe they're sick or something, but their clothes are green too.
Well, I'll be. Their clothes are all green too. I reckon this ain't no ordinary disease. Picked them with something good. Looks like you're taking it to the next level.
Yes, Chief. It looks like there's no way we'll be getting a word in.
Not that I have any desire to intervene.
Bear trap, go!
Like a gumshoe.
Scruffy, don't you dare say a word. I'm warning you.
Mr. Edgeworth, please help me, sir. What is it, Detective Gumshoe? It's about the story behind the SS5 incident, sir. Even though Blaze may have lost his authority, there's no way he can get confidential documents this quickly. That got me curious, so I made a few calls and asked around. I found out that Miss Von Karma used all sorts of forceful tactics to...
Scruffy, I thought I warned you. Oh, screen share borked out. Okay, we're good.
You've done a lot for us, Francisca. I promise I will bring this to an end with my own hands.
I like that they at least acknowledged that. Please, ask me anything you wish. AMA. You have my heartfelt thanks for bringing John back. Oh, even the thought of him not coming back makes me... Hey, old man, don't bully my mom.
No, that wasn't my intention.
Ooh, look at him go. Mommy's little knight in shining armor. He's so cool. It's not like that. Quit blabbering stupid stuff about me. John, please wait. May I proceed, Mr. Edwards? My actions were unbecoming of one who calls herself a servant of the goddess of law. I won't ask for forgiveness. However,
Judge Courtney, I am not as well acquainted with the goddess of law as you are. You and your fanatical cult. However, isn't that goddess also a mother of other gods? The law makes exceptions for extenuating circumstances. It understands a mother's heart. I'd say perhaps your goddess sympathizes with you more than you think.
Mr. Edgeworth. I don't get it. What the heck are you two blabbering about?
It's okay. That's not me.
It's okay, John. I don't have a clue either.
It seems the dust has settled on day one of Patricia Rowland's trial.
Yes, while a decision is yet to be reached, I would say a guilty verdict is quite likely. I'm sure a thorough investigation into her connection with Blaze will be conducted as well.
Who the hell's handling that trial?
Bastion. Oh, was that his name? Oh.
No, I mean, who's the judge? Me, of course. Wait.
No, it's Udgy. You know Udgy, right?
And who was the... Who's presiding over... Who's the attorney again?
Why? I don't know, man. My son got kidnapped today, alright?
Just feel like there's been a lot of musical chairs going on in that courtroom lately.
Yes, well, Dark Age of the Law.
Maybe that's what Nick was doing. I was like, look! Wow, this is a cool tower. Alright, Nick, time to go help our client out. Yeah, I'll help out Patricia Rowland. I'll get her that not guilty verdict. Takes one fucking look at her and goes, oh shit.
After seeing Sebastian today, I know we can put our faith in him.
Just like Kay, Sebastian's also in the midst of training for the future ahead.
I see. When you say it like that, I guess we have more in common than I thought. I said a few mean things to him, so the next time we meet, I'd like to apologize to him. I'm sure you will get your opportunity, but for now...
Yes, at present, solving this case is our top priority.
I suppose you would like me to tell you what exactly took place 2 nights ago and my reason for meeting with the President.
Indeed. I'm sure you yourself understand the importance of this matter.
Yes. However, I cannot tell you yet. Not now, at least.
She's determined to keep her heart closed. Without the ability to break the locks in her heart, I have no choice but to give up for now. I cannot purify her.
May I just say one thing? This case was thrown into chaos because John tried to cover for me. I would like to take this time to offer my deepest apologies.
Do not worry yourself. My logic won't be swayed by a child's lies. Besides, I'm not so tactless as to condemn a child for trying to protect his mother.
Besides, you were saying...
No, pay no mind. Mother and child, huh? Edgeworth's mother's never really brought up.
Seeing John's performance on the silver screen, I always look forward to it.
Judge Courtney, about that.
In fact, until I personally go and see John's movies in the theaters, I try to avoid learning any information about them. Please, let us not talk about it.
No spoilers, Mr. Edgeworth.
No spoilers.
No, Judge Courtney, that wasn't what I...
Although I've already come to learn a little about the plot in the course of this case, if you intend to divulge any more details, be prepared to face the wrath of the Goddess of Law.
Why are you bringing her into this? Seems the Goddess of Law does not take spoilers lightly. What if we could get it, like, legally binding that spoilers are, like, harassment?
I'd probably have to stop talking about how Olaf dies in Frozen 2. Bless you.
You'd have to stop talking about what happens in,
Yeah.
No!
He comes back.
What? No!
This is why we need it as a harassment charge.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't be able to talk about Vriska and all the stupid bullshit she does anymore.
Oh, I mean, I already am careful too, because, I mean, that's a can of worms. The thing is like, first off, not many people would even know what the fuck I'm talking about, but also the people who do, you have to understand that, like, if I'm ever so unlucky as to interact by chance with another Homestuck reader, if I say the name Vriska, I will be killed. Most likely.
I get the feeling that there's two
Very
types of people in the world. There's people who'd go, who the fuck are you talking about? And the people who go, like... It's either you've read all of Homestuck or none of it. There is no in between.
I mean, actually,
I
a lot
guess
of people
Zuper's in
dropped
between.
it because it's not great pacing wise.
Okay, 3 people. The people who've read all of Homestuck, the people who've read none of it, and the people who got to the arc with Vriska and the other Fuck it.
No, people drop all throughout the. Yeah, the way that it's paced so horribly. Like, people. I'm sure that for every unique page, there are like a surprisingly large amount of people that specifically read that page and were like, "Now I'm done."
Are there any pages that are like Control deletes the pregnancy abortion or like the pregnancy fail?
Oh, like loss?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, there is an infamous video that's a rock opera about one of the characters having Mpreg happen to them that Toby Fox did music for.
Yeah,
right? There's that.
Yeah,
But that's not like in the comic.
That's like a fan thing.
So anyways, Mr. Edgeworth, Toby Fox, and then he put the song in Sword and Shield.
He did. That is really funny to me.
What do you want?
John, I'd like you to tell me the exact details of your kidnapping and also what this Mpreg scene is. He does not watch stuff like
ask my
that.
son about any of that. You were kidnapped at the garbage pickup area, right?
Talk to me later, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll tell you. I can't talk to you about it in front of my mom. She doesn't know I read that garbage.
Oh, that's me. You don't have to act as a go-between. I can just talk to the old man directly. So he says, looks like he's finally starting to warm up to you. I went to the garbage pickup to throw away the flowers I found on the body. It was nearby, and I thought it'd be harder to find there than if I just tossed them in a trash can. I went there last night too, but the gate was locked.
And that's why you went there again today to dispose of them.
Yeah, but when I got there, someone suddenly grabbed me from behind. And used Sleepy ZZZ on you, right? Catching Z's is now super easy with Sleepy ZZZ. I just thought I'd give you the slogan of the drug that was used to kidnap you. Isn't
Please
that
don't
fun?
talk about my trauma.
Isn't that fun?
Even though she was also a victim of it, she seems to have taken a liking to the slogan.
Whoever grabbed me was really strong, but that's all I know. It couldn't have been Kokichi. I have no idea who it was.
I see, so that's what happened.
You know, I feel like of the small amount of people that watch this, I feel like 0 of them are also watching the Danganronpa stuff, and so then it's like, why the fuck are they talking about Kaito and Koki? Like,
No, I disagree with that. I think a lot of people who like this game probably are also fans of Danganronpa.
so you think there's at least one guy who's been watching like
Danganronpa gets more views than the other things that I upload typically.
That's true.
And Phoenix Wright tends to get the most.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix Wright fans are just hungry for anyone who records this content. And by hunger,
true,
I mean I get maybe like 7 views.
Especially for investigations, because like it's not main series. It's I'm sure this game probably of all of like the 8 or 9 if you count Great Ace Attorney, probably has like the least amount of people recording it.
As far as I know, it's the only Ace Attorney game that was never localized. So
right, because of Great Ace Attorney getting localized. Yeah, I think that's true.
After the drugs wore off, did you notice anything weird about your surroundings?
Those drugs were brought to you by Sleepy ZZZ. Catching Z's is now super easy with Sleepy ZZZ. It was kind of cold when I woke up, and I was in a dark, empty room. I thought I was in purgatory, honestly. Boxes with foreign writing on them were lying around, so I figured I was in a warehouse. The whole place was like a giant refrigerator. It was a commercial warehouse.
That's right. John was rescued thanks to the collective efforts of Kay and Detective Gumshoe.
Since it was still a bit cold, the cooling unit's power must not have been cut for too long. For some reason, they didn't think to take my phone, so I used it to call for help.
I see. In any case, it's good that you're safe and sound, John.
I don't need your fake sympathy, old man.
What an incorrigible child.
He's just like a certain someone I know.
No.
Yes. Mozilla only exists in the movies. For it to become an actual incident, The thought never even crossed my mind.
John, I'd like you to cooperate with the investigation.
In that case, maybe you should make me care enough to cooperate, old man.
It's not very approachable.
John, if you cooperate with us, I'll give you some delicious candy. You think that'll work on me? Don't treat me like a kid. Ah, Candy Crush attack didn't work. What a bummer.
Candy Crush attack.
I think that's like probably dialogue from the first interaction with him. What's that supposed to be? Giving me that isn't gonna land you a role in the film. Yeah, I think we also read this before.
I wasn't showing it to you so I could be in the movie.
So then what do we have to do to appear in the movie?
Okay, let's just leave it at that, shall we?
That's right, I was trying to protect my mom. But what's so wrong about that?
Your desire to protect your mother is rather admirable. However, the same can't be said for your perjury.
Call it what you want. There's no way I could stand by and do nothing while my mom was being suspected. John, you... Mr. Edgeworth is only praising your bravery. He's also saying it would have been better if you were a bit more honest about it. That about sums it up, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Well, more or less.
And aren't you glad that he praised you, John? Well, I guess, more or less.
They're the same person. Corporate would like you to tell the difference between John and Mr. Edgeworth.
Talking to me already?
Yeah, I forgot to present to you the bouquet.
Oh my, is this for me? Oh my gosh, I'm blushing. I suppose you would like me to
This is
tell
from
you how
Francisca,
very
right? Edgeworth's like, yeah, it was.
I think we already read this.
No, okay. No, it's the same nonsense. Okay.
Look at this! It was used on your child! What is this? Do you wish for me to crush it with my gavel?
Absolutely not.
It was merely a joke. The goddess of law does not permit this gavel to be used trivially.
You look quite serious about it, though. She's a bit more of a clown than typical.
Blaise de Best and Patricia Rowland are both connected to this case. That much we know for sure.
Indeed. However, it seems there's more to it than that.
Jill Crane and President Huang, the key to understanding the link between their deaths, lies here as well.
The connection between them is tenuous at best. For that reason, we must tread carefully to follow it to its conclusion.
In that case, we should take our time and carefully examine every nook and cranny. I even just replaced the Little Thief's batteries with new ones.
Not the little Mr. Thief? It runs on batteries?
Yeah, it's nothing like Francisco's iPod Nano.
That has infinite power. That's okay.
Me again.
The boy. I don't think I'll have anything to say about that, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted the non-investigation dialogue.
Look, John, here, try these. Not again.
Oh, there's also him.
This scene puts to chill to your bones. Uncle Ray needs our babe to keep him warm.
Could you please try to be a little more serious?
Oh, well, if that's what Kay wants, I guess I have no choice. Miles, this is where it all began. Isn't that right? Yeah, I fear that's the case. Oh, it's Patricia and Blaise's true goal. There are still many mysteries yet to be solved. Indeed, it is just as you say. Particularly the mystery of, well, what happened to Kay Ray's love. It is suspenseful.
Not even a little. You just couldn't resist, could you, Mr. Shields? Why can't you ever stay serious for more than a minute?
I think he's genuinely incapable of staying serious for that long. Shifu, I know it's not my place, but I have a request. Please, do a roll call just like old times. Just like old times, huh? What a lark. Guess I have no choice. Roll call! One! I'm sorry. Roll call with only one person's really lacking. That's nonsense. It's got nothing to do with numbers. Even though you're the only one here, the pack is always one, right? If you think it's lacking, then how'll be loud enough to make up for the rest of the pack? Roll call! I will. No, it's too late. Just pretend that I was like blowing out your ears with how loud I said this one.
Yeah, sure.
One. That man, is he on the verge of tears?
I love when the lackeys are like extremely sentimental. Alright, Mr. Edgeworth, we can do our pincer attack on him now.
3 flower beds and snow. He's reminiscing, get him!
What the fuck is he talking about? We haven't looked at any of the scene yet.
Agent Lang, what's the matter? Something strange. I wasn't able to read the SS5 incident from case files until now. Since Blaze had access to all that information restricted. Yeah, that's right. And yet I feel like I've seen this exact scene somewhere before. What do you mean? Where did I see this? If I could just remember. He looks deep in thought. I should leave him be alone for a while.
Never mind.
After the SS5 incident, the president completely changed. Well, he must have felt like his trust had been betrayed. Guess it's only natural. Cut off all ties to the Lang clan, putting an end to our deep bond of trust. My old man wanted at least to apologize in some way. So he tried to go see the president more times than I can count. Of course, the president refused to meet with him. He wouldn't even give him the time of day. I don't know if it was from the bodyguards, but there were times he'd come back all beaten up. But me standing around talking about the past doesn't do jack, does it? I shall be the judge of that. For now, just keep telling us what you know. You're still as tactless as ever. Well, I figured you'd say as much.
Did somebody say judge of that?
The fall of my old man was also the fall of the Lang clan. The family that failed to protect the president. That's what we became. My old man started to investigate the case like he was possessed. Could someone so driven by obsession truly conduct a proper investigation? Sheesh. You really don't pull your punches, Mr. Prosecutor. Don't think I blindly trusted his investigation just because he's my old man. His investigation was meticulous down to the last detail. Apparently, he even conducted a thorough interview with each and every kid at the orphanage. He interviewed every child? I wonder how fruitful his results were.
Is this for me?
Keep shoving irrelevant nonsense under my nose, and I'll chew it to pieces. The SS5 incident that occurred 12 years ago. I guess I should tell you everything. My old man failed to protect the country's #1 VIP. Because of that, he put everything on the line in his hunt for the culprit after the incident. During that time, my old man, he was like a lifeless ghost. If he had just caught his prey, he might have been able to forgive himself. But that shrew Roland, she managed to get away scot-free. My old man couldn't repay his debt to the president, nor could he unravel the case. So began the nightmare that our one wolf pack still hasn't woken up from to this day. Satisfied? His clan's honor was damaged. Young Lang's heart was wounded just as badly. Agent Lang, I can sympathize with your father's regrets. However, all we can do is perform a thorough investigation of this case. Hope your words will serve as some kind of clue. That's all you have to say? Sheesh. All that talk was really a waste of time. These footprints stop near the body.
They must be Mr. Cameron's footprints. He sure has some big feet. They look like a size 11. According to the data, his shoes match these footprints.
Okay.
Bean.
Footprints here seem to lead to and from the body.
These footprints were believed to be the culprits. The shoe size is about a size 7. That's fairly average. It seems we won't be able to tell who the culprit is from these footprints.
I learned that shoe sizes are different depending on the country. So, like, a Japanese size 10 is different from, like, an American size 10.
Yeah.
But this is Japanifornia, so...
They probably didn't localize the shoe sizes to American shoe sizes.
Yeah. So if he has 11s, I have 10.5.
Yeah, so that you probably actually have bigger than those, because those are probably Japanese 11s, right?
Hypothetically. So this is the eyewitness of the president's kidnapping, Jack Cameron. What exactly did he witness?
Ooh, this guy must have had a grimace shake, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? I wish I did. I recreated the state of his body based on the photos taken by the police.
It appears he was struck in the head from behind.
The murder weapon was a brick, right? It looks like the ones from this garden.
Brick by brick. Clock that dick.
What?
He got clocked with a brick.
Oh.
Yeah. The blood that flowed from his head had splattered all over the surroundings.
Here, take this. It's Mr. Cameron's autopsy report. Hasn't been updated for 12 years.
Did Gumfuck not do it? Why not? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny, perhaps for the last time this game.
If only I were a psychic.
A yellow flower
A yellow
had fallen.
flower's
That's not
fallen
me.
here. In the language of flowers, it means a stolen treasure.
Okay, please stop making things up. Still, the flower seems to be of a different variety from the ones growing nearby.
Well then, why is it in a place like this?
This bothers me a little. We should examine the flower bed itself after this.
I knew it! Someone must have stolen this from somewhere and brought it here!
Okay.
And in the language of flowers, this means an angry prosecutor. Anyways, the yellow flower really reminds me of this one YouTube song.
Flowey? Story of Undertale?
Yeah, you got it.
Assume this is the victim's cell phone.
That's right! Apparently Mr. Cameron gave his eyewitness testimony over the cell phone.
What do you mean by over the cell phone?
You know how you can call people, Mr. Edgeworth? You fucking idiot.
After Cameron found the president, seems he'd called his girlfriend. But she didn't answer the phone, so Cameron left a message on her answering machine.
The tape is in the case files too. You wanna hear it?
Please? Do you want to do Cameron?
Not particularly. You can do this one.
Hello, Joe. Are you asleep already? I'm in front of the facility now, but something's not right. President Huang is here all of places, and what's more... Crap, the light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. I can't believe it, but it almost looks like he's being kidnapped. I thought I'd let you know. Oh look, a brick.
I'm going to, propel my head backwards into the brick.
What was that sound at the end? It seems he was attacked while he was still on the phone.
Agent Lang, may I ask, what was the name of Mr. Cameron's beloved?
Pretty sure her name was Jill Crane. Oh. Spicy.
So, it was true. Did you say Jill?
Revenge for 12 years ago, huh? This is why she was seeking revenge for 12 years ago.
The feelings and the items Miss Crane inherited from her beloved brought her to the auction. She had come to exact revenge on the conductor, Blaze. But Miss Crane tried to get revenge on Blaze, right?
She may have wanted to get revenge on him for covering up the kidnapping case. Or perhaps she thought Blaze himself was the kidnapper. This is the brick that was used as the murder weapon.
You can find bricks like this all over the garden. They must have used one of them as a weapon.
The victim was carrying a camera.
Oh, according to the case files, it seems he only managed to take a single photo. Here it is. It looks like fucking Gregory.
A little bit. I love the snowman.
Yeah, it's like Olaf.
This is.
Isn't that the president?
He's being held at gunpoint. This must be the scene the victim witnessed.
So, the person in the coat must be the kidnapper.
Indeed, it seems like some sort of disguise.
What if it's Ray?
The logic of Agent Lang's father is correct. I could see it being Ray.
I have no basis for that. I just think it's interesting.
I don't know who else it would be. And this person should be Patricia Rowland. Now,
Well, if that's accurate, but it might not be accurate.
it doesn't look like Patricia Rowland.
I mean, you know, if you put on a disguise, you're trying to not look like yourself.
Yeah.
But why is there only one photo?
Perhaps he was killed before he could take any more.
Oh, I get it, Mr. Edgeworth. His name's Cameron, because he has a camera. Ugh.
Isn't his name James Cameron?
It might be. The blood is so vivid. According to the autopsy
It's Jack Cameron. Okay.
According to the autopsy report, it seems the immediate cause of death was blood loss from the blow to the head.
Indeed. Not only did it spill out from the wound, but it splattered around the surrounding area. No one could have survived after losing this much blood. I guess it's safe to say that the autopsy report matches the state of affairs. Jack Cameron was a freelance journalist. He was killed because he witnessed the president's kidnapping.
The blood really stands out in the recreation. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Even in the original photo, it looks brutal enough. A lot of blood was spilled. The back of his head is covered in blood. That must be where all the blood spilled from.
According to the autopsy report, he was struck in the back of the head with a brick.
Indeed. It's likely that the killer approached Mr. Cameron from behind. Is the victim holding something in his right hand?
That's also written in the case files. Seems he was holding on to a button.
A button. Did he tear it off the culprit's clothes?
Yeah, just like JoJo Part 4. All over again.
Caesar?
Close enough. Did you ever check, like, the body itself?
Yes.
Right, that's what we just did. Okay. Here, check it again, and then it'll say if you got everything. Okay.
It's logic time. Actually, we need to check the flower bed first. The flower bed.
According to the data, this facility had 3 gardens. And each of these gardens contained 3 flower beds.
The way these flower beds are lined up. Have I seen this arrangement somewhere before?
Is there like a diamond shape somewhere?
I think the flower beds are organized, like if you took one of them by themselves, it'd be where the holes were located.
The hole?
Yeah, like, you know, the holes on the crime scene
Oh.
in the pavement. So, like, the
Yeah,
one on the
you're
right, that would be, like, kind of how the holes
Yeah,
were.
the one on the left is probably where the footprints are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we get a map of it. That's fine though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's one there, there's one in like the top right, and then one, yeah.
Yeah.
Since it was during the winter, there were no flowers in bloom. What a shame.
What's this yellow flower?
Huh? Why is there a single flower here? That is a lion lily. It's a very rare type of lily.
Did you say lion lily?
That's the flower Miss Courtney gave to the president.
I wish I could give it to Courtney. Or the president. What's it doing here? Could it just be a coincidence?
If I recall, the lion lily originates from Asia. In the language of flowers, it means the bond between parent and child.
Never mind. I don't want to give it to her. Unless... I never knew you were so familiar with flowers.
That much is common sense. You're simply lacking in your studies, Miles Edgeworth.
Okay.
Bird.
Sick burn.
Yeah, I think it is logic time. Oh, that's like zombie Olaf right there. This bear-shaped igloo is both cute and scary at the same time. I hereby declare this a bear glue.
Because those igloo could fit 3 people inside.
Yeah, I bet you could live up to 3 years in this bear glue.
3 years? What about the summertime? The igloo would melt.
Mr. Edgeworth, say that again. Say that one more time.
The igloo would melt. It's a turtle swing. These playground tools are modeled after a hare and tortoise, like from the fable. The tortoise and the hare compete in a race, and in the end, the hare lost.
And now, for something completely different, it's time for a K quiz. Why did the hare lose? There are 3 choices.
I already know the answer. It's because the hare took a nap.
1. The hare's favorite shoes were stolen by the Yatagarasu. 2. The tortoise trained with the Yatagarasu until it became faster than the hare. 3. Unbeknownst to the 2 animals, the Yatagarasu stole the victory from the shadows.
Those are my only choices, huh?
Is it too hard for you? Okay, I'll give you a hint. It starts with a th.
She wants me to pick number 3. This has mostly melted, but it appears to be a snowman.
It has a scarf and a hat. It must have melted since it was dressed so warmly. The poor thing has even lost one of the buttons that was used for its eyes.
The temperature reaches its lowest point at dawn. Perhaps it would have refrozen later.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Once a snowman melts, even if it freezes up again, it becomes an iceman instead of a snowman.
What? Is that what she was expecting me to say?
Why? Why are you looking at me like that?
It's a swing decorated with the face of an elephant. Looks like there's some kind of motor attached to the other side of the elephant.
There's one thought that has crushed the minds of every top-class swinger. If only I could do a full 360. With that powerful motor rotating the swing, that dream can finally be achieved.
Rotating with a motor, but wouldn't that be dangerous?
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't fulfill your dreams unless you're willing to take some risks.
Is that the real problem here?
Also, Kay, don't say swinger. That's a connotation. Never mind.
Yeah, it means you like to swing. You know?
Sure. Definitely logic, right? Yeah.
Actually, wait a minute.
I think it's a murder weapon, brick, and flower buds. Yeah,
Yep.
that. So there was an orphanage here 12 years ago. And what's more, the head of the orphanage was Miss Roland. Talk about a surprise.
So that means this is where the SS5 incident occurred 12 years ago.
The one where the president of Zangfa was kidnapped, right?
Yes, and the only witness, Jack Cameron, was then subsequently murdered. However, when you consider that this case was classified as top secret...
It starts to smell fishy, like there's something hidden behind this case. Even so, the people involved in this incident... aren't they all people that we already know?
Patricia Rowland blazed the best in the president of Zangfa. The cases that we've involved in recently, and the SS5 incident. It's hard to think they're not related.
Let's steal the truth hidden behind this case. I'll keep updating the info if we find out anything new, so... Let's focus on the areas that have changed in the recreation. You know, Kay is just like somebody who played Persona 4 and Persona 5 and was like, I'm gonna hyper-focus on both of these at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. To think that your little Miss Thief would help Mr. Thief would help it. No, Miss
You
Thief.
actually got it. You were consistent with the bit.
Would help us out once again. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you
Wow,
actually
you,
did it.
you remembered the stupid nonsense I said about it being a girl or whatever. Oh shit! I guess we were wrong about the translators. It's just Little Thief, and no matter how useful Little Thief is.
Why? Wait, why was Case saying Mr. Oh no, Edgeworth was always
It
saying
was
Mr.
just Edgeworth, yeah.
Okay, it's just him being stupid.
If there's an error with the inventory creation, it come out a bit strange. If you find anything strange, please present some evidence.
So I can examine things like I normally do, even if I just recreate.
Yep, please go all out and investigate every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I don't have enough data to do it now, but once you gather enough info, I can recreate the scene at a different moment in time.
Alright, I'll ask for
Wow,
your
it's
help
gonna
when
be
that
here a
time
while.
comes.
Alright. Logic, flower beds, brick.
This pillar appears to be burnt.
That's not what I said. According to the files, it seems there was a fire on the evening of the incident.
A fire.
Let's see here. Huh? It says that one of the children at the orphanage spilled kerosene and set it on fire as a prank.
Great prank. I guess that kid had far too much energy. And thanks to that, we can't make out any of the footprints near the main hall. When I have too much energy, I commit arson.
Yeah. This door, I remember seeing it from somewhere.
Of course you would. Looks exactly like the Grand Tower door we saw earlier.
But this is a recreation from 12 years ago. That means this door's been here since then.
Seems when the Grand Tower was built, they decided to reuse the door rather than destroy it.
It's like the old saying goes, discover something new by heating up something old.
Oh, it seems she understood the correct meaning of a saying for once.
But if you're using a microwave to do it, don't heat it for over 5 minutes.
Okay. Let's lodge. Ick.
Alright. Oh, right. Yeah, it's the footprints in the beds. Right.
Oh, yeah. Perhaps this is the true nature of the monster's footprints.
True nature. Like adamant?
Compare the positions of the the footprints and the 3 flower beds on the left.
Ah. It's actually jolly.
The exposed areas of dirt match the areas where the flower beds were.
So Blaze dug holes in front of where each of the 3 flower beds used to be.
Exactly. Now, why would he do such a thing? I believe we have the pieces of evidence that tell us why. Why did Blaze dig holes in the ground near the flower beds?
It might be like the flower. I mean, that's kind of an obvious answer, but I can't really think of anything else it could be. Alright. Or it's not the bouquet, but there's like a flower thing on the next page, right? Oh no, there isn't. Oh, check the photo. Doesn't really show us anything. It does show us that the button's missing from that snowman's eye, but that's
Why did
irrelevant
Blaze
right
dig
now.
holes in the ground near the...
I don't know, maybe it is the bouquet, but... Check the SS5 case files. I don't think I've actually read what it says.
President of Zhengfa, Di Huan, was kidnapped on February 10th, 12 years ago. Kidnapper demands a ransom of $100 million. Dialong Lang confirmed that on the evening of the incident, the president was at the Zhengfa embassy until midnight.
I don't know, my guess is the bouquet, but...
This is the reason why Blaze dug holes in the ground near the flower beds.
Aha! So, what does this tell us?
Isn't it obvious?
No, it's not.
Obviously, this tells us absolutely nothing at all.
please be more serious, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ugh. Well, that wasn't it.
Let's
Getting
take a
told
look
by
at the
Kay to be
evidence.
more serious is like, oof.
Yeah, there must be something in there.
Near the flower bed. See, that time he said the full line.
Yeah. It could be something to do with the... You check the testimony. Oh, it gets rid of the last word when you stop checking evidence. That's an interesting little programming bug.
Silly little oopsie. It's like sometimes where the screen share just decides to get rid of certain letters in dialogue.
Yeah. I have no idea, like, because obviously the implication is something to do with, like, hiding evidence or something, but, like, do we have what we need? I mean, what does the letter say? Maybe there's something in there. It go the other way. No, there's no specifics. Okay.
Do we have two Lotta's testimony?
No.
No. Ow. My spine.
I mean, presumably there's something that was in the flower beds that he wanted to retrieve, right?
Maybe the money?
Oh, maybe.
They buried the money
Try it.
somehow.
Try it. Nope.
Come on, Edgeworth. If I was Kaito, I'd be like, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. A man should know how to
yeah,
do
I
this.
was gonna say. What does it say about the gloves? It's not really relevant. I mean, it's relevant, but it's not the answer. I feel like this is one of the ones where I'm gonna look it up and then I'm gonna be like, oh, that's stupid. What's the autopsy report say? Go back to the second pic. Wait, go back to the picture.
It could be the brick, it could be the camera.
I don't think so. Alright, I think I'm gonna see what the internet has to say, and I'll let you know.
Was
if it's,
Cameron buried?
He wasn't buried there, right? Surely not.
He would have had to have been found, I think. They were able to have the cause of death.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, recreation. flower beds, 3 footprints. Oh! Okay.
Are we stupid?
I mean, here's the thing. It's not obvious, but if we read every piece of evidence, it would be extremely obvious.
Gotcha.
It's one of those things where it's a detail in something that we just forgot about, and we also didn't think to check that piece of evidence.
Gotcha.
So, that's on us.
Sure.
To be fair, it is a piece of evidence that feels very irrelevant right now, but...
Oh. Alright. So we actually don't know what it is. But, as mentioned here, the report from Patricia Rowland to Blaze the Best. It said that something was laid to rest in front of the flower bed.
Did I just see you look up the walkthrough, Mr. Edgeworth?
No.
So Blaze was following Miss Rowland's instructions to dig it up?
What are you literally using over there, Kay? It's literally a cheating device.
Nuh-uh.
You're a little Miss Thief. It's just Little Thief.
But why would he dig up 3 whole...
The report didn't state which of the 3 flower beds the item was in front of, so he got unlucky.
Oh, so Blaze didn't know exactly where to dig. That's why he had to dig up all 3 spots.
Most likely, yes. I'm sure Blaze himself was none too happy about that.
He went through all that trouble. I wonder what he was trying to dig up. Is it a brick? I guess they had something or other on it. Nope.
We've learned pretty much all we can about the situation this time of the murder.
Oh, in that case, is there another scene you'd like to recreate?
Yes, would you do the honors? I would like you to recreate the scene where the victim witnessed the president's kidnapping.
Right, I'll recreate the scene based on Mr. Cameron's photo. This is my gun. Say your prayers, Mr. Edgeworth. Pick a god and pray.
Biden Blast.
Biden Blast.
She would be like, Baja Blast.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mr. Cameron standing in the middle of the flower beds. His fucking H is like hunched over while some guy with a brick is about to club him.
And the president and his kidnapper are standing on the road.
Patricia Rowland grew a beard just for this scene.
Wow.
Well, man based his initial investigation on the eyewitness testimony. As a result, it led him believe that the kidnapper and this facility were related. And that's how he came to suspect the head of the orphanage, Patricia Rowland. Yeah. But in court, Blaze the Best treated this testimony as if it meant nothing. Why would he do that? The president and his kidnapper were not standing inside the orphanage grounds. So a connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping was difficult to prove.
I see. It's not like they were seen inside the orphanage, after all.
No matter how much evidence the detectives gather at the crime scene, it does not mean squat if the prosecutor won't use it in court. Blaze the Best had some kind of connection with Patricia Rowland. I figured they had some kind of deal going on.
In other words, you think that Blaze was one of the kidnappers. That guy, he's so nice.
It's amazing how often all these cases get handed to people who have very personal ties to these court cases.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of terrifying. That's the true dark age of the law.
Yeah.
However, your father was convinced that Patricia Rowland was the culprit. Your father was a highly capable investigator, I presume. Might he have had some basis for his conclusion beside the eyewitness testimony? Yeah, I figured he did, but I have no idea what it was. My man never really talked much about this case. Agent Lang's father, Dai Long Lang. President Huang's most trusted confidant. The truth he discovered was suppressed by Blaze the Best. First, we must find that hidden truth. Okay, this is the moment of the incident. At 1:15, or on the day 1:15 at 2 in the morning. Alright, I'm going to the bathroom real fast, but I'll leave the game right here so we can enjoy the music.
Sure. I will also run to the bathroom. I'm back. Are you back?
Okay. Back to it. Are ye back, Emily?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I just, I got back, saw that you weren't, and then I just inhaled a bunch of chips.
Nice. What to look at first? Is there any inconsistencies?
Well, let's investigate the stuff first, and then we'll see.
Alright, what's going on here? Cameron took a photo of the president from this spot.
And he also called Miss Crane, right?
At that time, the kill was already behind him.
Holding the murderous brick. Do you think he did that Marvel movie thing where he's like, wait, he's right behind me, isn't he?
The sad thing about all the Marvel movie tropes is that they're not even fucking Marvel movie tropes. They're just shit stolen from everything else.
Yeah.
Like, that's a Scooby-Doo line, if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, which
Like,
is why it's
he's
super
totally
unfortunate
right behind
that
me.
that's, you know, supposedly in cinema that is of a high, whatever.
High caliber.
Yeah.
The hell are you doing over here, dude? Anything new? No,
Nope.
it's the same shit. And how goes this? I'll rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. By the way, I did see an inconsistency with the footprints.
Thanks.
Dijon Huang. 12 years ago, he was still the president of Zhengfa.
You know, I just realized, I guess it's not supposed to be mustard, right? It's the flower pollen.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the fan translators, unless he's in the first game, the fan translators might have made his name that as a mustard joke anyways. I don't know.
Maybe.
Doesn't he seem a bit younger? Though it might be hard to tell since it's so dark.
Indeed, with the situation being what it was. His facial expression seems a bit strained.
I wonder where the president was taken after this.
We don't know that yet. However, if the answer to that question lies here, it should become clear when we investigate. Or continue to.
About this snowman, when we recreated the scene where Mr. Cameron was killed, it had already melted. Its scarf was all soggy and one of its button eyes was missing.
Indeed, at this stage it appears that most of its original form was still intact. Although there's one spot that looks unnaturally lacking.
Poor thing, I bet some naughty kid must have plucked it off. Although from a thief's perspective, that kid does have some promise.
Was it plucked off by one of the children at the orphanage? No, perhaps. It was taken off by an entirely different person altogether. This snowman, wouldn't you say it's missing something?
Ah, its right eye is missing. This is something I addressed already 2 seconds ago.
Precisely, and what's more, that missing eye happens to be in our possession.
The button that Mr. Cameron was holding on to. Got the exact same design as the snowman's left eye.
If we assume this button was indeed the snowman's eye, a huge contradiction arises. If this button is the snowman's eye, what contradiction arises?
The location of the snowman, I think. I think it's like a forced perspective.
It contradicts with the location of the snowman.
So you mean the snowman was actually in the middle of the garden?
You know, the way you're saying this, Kay, and the fact that my health bar is still resting atop my luscious locks. Are you suggesting that I possibly...
Don't call your locks luscious, Mr. Edgeworth. That's just weird. That's some Ray Shields behavior if I've ever seen it.
Listen, Nick just thinks they're luscious, okay? No. He told me to have more body positivity with myself.
Alright, fair enough. Carry on. But there were no signs that it was moved, right?
Ow. Well, never mind. I don't have any hair anymore. It exploded.
Malding.
the location of the victim. Actually, the location of the president is probably the thing that changes. Never mind, I second-guessed myself.
The location of the president, but I thought the president had nothing to do with the button.
The victim! I knew it all along. The victim was holding onto the button. Furthermore, the button was stained with blood. In other words, he grabbed the button after he was attacked. For example, if he were to picture it this way, after being struck in the back of the head, Mr. Cameron lost his balance. As he was falling, he reached out his hand towards the nearby snowman. However, it could not support his weight, and he collapsed while still grasping the button.
Huh? That means Mr. Cameron was near the snowman when he was attacked?
Indeed, at the very least, he must have been within arm's reach, however. It's quite clear that he would not have been able to reach it from his current position.
But Mr. Cameron's footprints only lead towards the flower bed.
Can we be certain that these footprints really are Mr. Cameron's? It seems we'll need to investigate them one more time.
Understood. I'll recreate the time the body was discovered scene one more time. Say goodbye to those luscious locks. You'll see them again in the afterlife. These footprints should match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes, right?
Let's inspect them again. These footprints, are these really Mr. Cameron's?
They're from size 11 shoes, and these huge footprints match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes. No matter how you look at it, they're moving steadily towards the center of the flower beds.
When Mr. Cameron was attacked, he grabbed the button from the snowman. Even with the Great Thief's
peak human conditioning, your arm just can't stretch that far. Let alone an ordinary civilian. It'd be completely impossible.
What if he was Dalsim
He's what?
from Street Fighter? The monk guy who can stretch his arms. What if he was Miss Elastigirl?
I'm too much of a zoomer for Street Fighter, Mr. Edgeworth. Try referencing Marth's grab range next time.
Elastigirl?
I saw Incredibles 2, but not Incredibles 1, because I'm only like 17 in this game.
Well, that's unfortunate, but luckily there's more Elastigirl in 2 than there is in 1, so still works. The footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim, just as the case files say. I still feel like if you were born in, like, even late 2000s, you still probably saw a lot of, like, those 2000s Marvel movies, or not Marvel,
like what kind of, what year?
Pixar movies. Like, late 2000s, you'd still see, like, the Pixar movies.
Oh, like 06 to 09. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
You'd be, like, a Cars kid, and then, like, your parents would be like, hey, you should check out Incredibles. And you'd be like, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Because I was born in 2000, and, like, for example, like, Thousand Year Door, I'm pretty sure that came out in 2002. I wasn't playing that as a 2-year-old. Right.
Literally the only reason I played Thousand Year Door, it was not on my radar. My sister just randomly picked it up from, like, a game store one day, like, on the cheap. And I was just like, oh, this is kind of neat looking. I had no idea what Paper Mario was. I mean, I knew. I was like, oh, that's just like... I don't even know what I thought it was. I just thought it was like a weird spin-off.
I mean, I didn't know anything about it because I probably got the game when I was like 4. And and when you're 4, like, you don't know anything about, like, what games are out there. You just know what your parents buy for you. Right?
Yeah. For me, Mario was like, oh, Sunshine, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros. 1... Like, oh, it's a platforming game. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's an RPG? Wow, that's really weird. These footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim, as the case files say. However, does that mean Mr. Cameron was the owner of these shoes? We should re-examine Mr. Cameron's shoes. You know, for a friend. These shoes should match the footprints, however. These shoes, it seems like they were not the ones originally worn by the victim. I'm so glad that Little Thief was very specific to show us this.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you'll see that the laces were tied up strangely. And the size doesn't seem to fit quite right either. They didn't belong to Cameron. Culprit likely placed the shoes on the victim's feet after he had died. So they took off his shoes? Okay.
That would mean these are huge footprints leading up to the victim's feet.
were most likely made by someone other than the victim.
So then the footprints leading to and from the victim's head must be Mr. Cameron's.
No, not necessarily. They seem a little too small to be the victim's footprints.
So none of the footprints are his? Then which way did Mr. Cameron walk from?
It's quite simple. The victim did not walk here of his own accord, but rather, he was carried here after he was murdered by the culprit. Which means Kokichi definitely could not have done this. He is not strong enough to lift Mr. Cameron.
I don't know though, Mr. If you have a rope and you drag up an incline, that would do a lot of the heavy lifting for it. It would be difficult.
It sure would. Unfortunately, there's
feasible.
snow. So that would have obviously just been like a giant dragging snow line.
I'm talking about Hope's Peak Academy.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Crane did not die at Hope's Peak Academy.
Very fortunate for him and for us.
The question now becomes, where was he killed and carried from? Perhaps it was near the snowman after all. Oops. I was projecting the wrong area, Mr. Edgeworth. Here, let me just take us to Hope's Peak Academy real fast with Little Thief.
Yeah, so what I do, Mr. Edgeworth, when I play the Danganronpa games, is I use the Little Thief to recreate the crime scenes, and then I figure it out before everyone in the game.
How could you not know that was the killer in case 2? No spoilers, Mr. Edgeworth. Otherwise, the goddess of law will kill me.
Yeah, you just turn and see, like, Courtney just, like...
You see Mocking, she's like, you want to die?
Yeah. So we might have a logic to do.
We might.
Maybe the shoes were what were dug up. Like his original shoes. So that the body was moved. Maybe.
I don't know if I want to test it with my health right now. What I do want to do, though, real fast... Not that.
Yeah, that.
Change the recreation.
Do you want to recreate the scene based on the eyewitness testimony? This is the moment of the incident where the president was being kidnapped.
Look at this. Look at the shoes, by the way.
I recreated the scene.
See this? They didn't walk up. At all. That's a huge inconsistency.
Well, presumably it was the killer... Well, I don't know. I guess we don't know, because you know, this is still wrong, right? With where the death happened.
So I guess what happened is they walked up here. Then they did, like, this... In order to...
I think we just need to, like, examine everything and get out all the inconsistencies. Otherwise, it just won't really be... Is there anything... I don't know if there's anything else we can find, honestly. Check the footprints again?
These footprints... Are they really Mr. Cameron's?
Okay, I think this might be already... This might be repeat dialogue.
But Mr. Cameron's attack, he grabbed the button from the snowman.
Even with... Yep.
Uh-huh. Footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim, just as case files say. However, does that mean Mr. Cameron was the owner of these shoes? We should re-examine Mr. Cameron's shoes.
Yeah, I think we have a logic to do. It might not be that, but I don't know what else we're investigating right now, right? Alright.
No.
I don't know. Back out and I don't know, maybe talk to Kay or something.
Yep.
A kidnapping, a murder, and a fire on top of that. So much happened that it's hard to keep things straight.
Fire was caused by a child on the evening of the incident, which means the fire occurred before the kidnapping and the murder.
Did you notice something about when the fire started?
Indeed, there's only one thing that caught my attention. The fire occurred first, and something left at the crime scene should not have been there. What has changed at the scene due to the fire and the evidence that I have on hand? Seems I'll need to take a moment to compare the two. This pillar appears to be burnt.
Reading the files, it seems there was a fire on the evening of the incident.
A fire?
Let's see here. Huh? This is one of the... Okay, I think this was repeat. Yep.
The place Karen was killed was not near the flower beds.
And then whose blood is this?
Just now, the state of the recreation has changed completely. Regarding this blood stain, the time the body was discovered scene has probably been greatly impacted as a result.
And let's go check it out right away. Preparations are ready.
Since the state of the recreation has changed once again, I should press the Y button and select the change recreation. Let's give it a try. Okay.
I mean, I guess you can talk to the body and then she'll move it? Well, I know, I mean, that's where it was. Yeah, no, that's not it. This little thief stuff can be a headache sometimes.
A little bit.
I mean, check these footprints to the right.
The footprints here seem to lead to and from the body.
These footprints were believed to be the culprits. The shoe size is about a size 7, it's fairly average. We'll be able to tell if the culprit is from these footprints. No. How do we, like, tell it to change it?
Do.
Do we have to present something to Kay and then she changes it? Any about the newest feature?
Not particularly.
Come on, don't say that. Using the latest feature, we can now recreate the scene at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we can recreate the scene based on the report and the testimony. Please let me know when you're gonna switch scene. Okay, present the shoes of the fire. It looks like only a section of the front yard was burned by the spilled kerosene. Seems there was no damage to the building itself.
Why didn't it turn into a bigger incident?
But the kid should have known better. There are some pranks that you can and can't do.
That works, it's just awkward to say it that way. Well, that's certainly true.
It's grammatically wrong.
Should have. Should have instead of should have.
Yeah.
I doubt that the kid would have wanted to hear that from someone calling herself the Great Thief.
I believe that even a great thief has rights.
I'm not gonna have those shoes shoved in my face, Mr. Edgeworth.
For example, we have the right to choose what we want to steal.
I shouldn't even consider this valuable.
Investigate the normal shoe prints, or the left shoe prints. Okay, that's the same. I don't know what they're trying to tell us to do here.
I think what happened is, like, obviously they walked down and walked back up, and then they were able to go in here to, like, the building, because there's no footprints that happen here because of the fire.
So, but how do we, like, advance the game state to do that? No, well, they just told us to go back to the thing we were just on, though, right? Like, the game was just like, we should switch back to when the body was discovered. Yeah, like that. Like,
Yeah.
The game seems to be hinting that we should be back on there. There's either some weird little thief button that we don't know about, or it's a logic that we need to do. Oh, or it's just this, okay. Snowman has become a sad sight to look at.
Can't be helped. Snow and ice melted away both times.
Just like the mysteries of the cases you've solved, Mr. Edgeworth, as time passes, those mysteries melt away while you continue to keep your cool.
You do realize I'm racking my brain trying to solve these mysteries during a case, right?
Check the footprints from here, maybe?
I guess.
There's some size 7 footprints going back and forth. According to the police files, these are the culprit's footprints.
Indeed. They seem to grow faint and disappear as they approach the road.
There's not much snow left on the road after all.
As expected, it'll be difficult to determine who these footprints belong to. It appears that the outside of the facility was also decorated with flower beds.
Wow, so there are flowers that bloom in the winter. Snow has even piled up on the flower bed.
Do you think flowers could bloom even on a battlefield? Indeed, it seems a little cold and it gives off a refined taste, even though it's just a recreation.
Indeed. It gives off a little cold and tastes quite refined, even though it's just a recreation.
Is that it?
Hell, behind the gate, maybe? No. Oh, wait, below the footprints?
Maybe the bricks? Oh, there's a missing brick. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. How is a brick missing here?
Alright, well that'll help us. Rest of all are in order. It's strange that only this one's missing. Okay, now you ready for this? Here it comes. There you go. Connect those. Perhaps the missing brick was the one used as a murder weapon. It was near the snowman, which is going to start a chain reaction.
Ah, yeah, it seems to be just the right size to fit in that gap perfectly. I don't even know what that would go with. I guess that you do that to prove that it's carried from the snowman or something.
Yeah, something like that. I just pulled a bunch of cheese balls like a Dumbo.
Ah, I think it'd be preferable not to do that.
As I thought, it seems the murder actually occurred near the snowman.
Both the button Mr. Cameron was holding and the murder weapon came from there.
I got all my cheese balls now. This will be a multi-step process, indeed. Also, if we assume that the killer picked up the brick near the snowman, and then tried to sneak up behind Mr. Cameron.
Oh, Mr. Cameron totally would have seen the person picking up the brick.
Exactly. Okay. Please update the recreation finally. Mr. Cameron was not in the middle of the flower beds, but near the snowman.
See, the thing is we proved that, but they were like, we're gonna make you prove it twice for some reason.
Just had to make extra sure, you know? It's the final case after all.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm like a Pokemon.
From the anime only.
Or Pikachu in like Gen 6.
God, I fucking hate that stupid change. Why did they do that? Literally,
They
Ken
undid it.
Sugimura is like, no, the reason we make them sound like animals in the game is to make them more like animals. Why the fuck does Pikachu sound like Pika? The only good improvement that caused was now that Eevee goes Vui when it, like, talks. And that's amazing, because when you knock it out, it goes Vui, and it's, like, really good. It makes me feel happy to knock out Eevees. I really like Eevee, by the way. But it is fun to knock out Eevee. I think I am done collecting cheese balls. I think. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I will find out later if I, like, step on one and cry when it gets crushed into the fucking carpet. Anyway. Boy, this is an absolute clusterfuck of a situation here.
It's like JoJo fucking killing meme.
What this makes this look like is Huang was in on this.
Oh, maybe.
Like, the gun was pointed at him, and he got struck by a brick. Or maybe he was blocking?
I think that we're gonna prove that this happened somewhere else, right? No matter how you look at it, this is strange.
All the people involved in the case are gathered in the same place.
Did we make a mistake here or something?
One piece of evidence this recreation is based on is odd.
One Piece.
If I had to choose which piece of evidence is fake.
I think the camera. Or the photo.
Yeah. Was this photo really taken by Mr. Cameron?
Eh? What do you mean?
If it wasn't, he'd have a really stupid name, because he never took a single picture.
Yeah. That's
We have
impossible.
Proven that whoever killed Mr. Cameron was also moved the body. For whatever reason, would they have to deliberately move his body? That sounded like Kyo there. For whatever reason. Perhaps the culprit wanted to falsify the scene that Mr. Cameron witnessed.
And that's why they took a fake photo?
They made the president stand under the streetlight and took a photo with Mr. Cameron's camera. Yeah. It would have been quite simple.
Now that you mention it, Mr. Cameron's camera only had one photo on it, right?
Indeed. In all likelihood, the original roll of film had been removed from the camera. After loading a new roll of film into the camera, the fake photo was taken.
I see. So, this photo must have been taken after Mr. Cameron was killed, right?
God, it's stuff like this that makes me go like, why do we have Maya as a companion with Nick when, like, over here, you can have Kay instead, who's, like, way smarter. No offense
Kay
to
is
Maya,
definitely-
she's great, but...
Kay is definitely, of all the, like, Ace Attorney weird girls, Kay is definitely the smartest.
I,
and most helpful.
I mean, yeah, even more than, like, Sykes. What's her name? The
Athena.
Luminol girl.
Oh, Emma.
Yeah, Athena's actually smart. Yeah, Emma. Yeah. I like even Emma. Like Emma doesn't help that much.
I mean, she gives you necessary tools, but it's not like, I don't know. I feel like it's just like finding blood. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. This is not the scene Mr. Cameron actually witnessed. It's likely that this photo is forged evidence.
Then where did Mr. Cameron witness the president and his kidnapper?
The photo wasn't the only piece of evidence that indicates what Mr. Cameron witnessed.
Ah, the testimony he left on the answering machine.
Precisely. We should listen to the recording one more time and confirm what he said.
Are you having a stroke, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yam hours. Where else could the president and his kidnapper have been?
I think it might be literally right, like where the cursor was. Like I think it might be there. That's where the footprints lead, right? I think that could be it. It's not the bear glue. I like your thinking though, Mr. Edgeworth. Ah, fuck me. They were over there? So, what's the basis for that claim?
Do I really need a basis for my claims?
My source is that I made it the fuck up. In other words, you don't know, do you?
Yo! So it wasn't there.
I need to recover our health soon. Let's try remembering what he said. Did he say something about the situation at the scene?
Indeed, Mr. Cameron's testimony should provide a major clue. I don't need health. Who needs health? What does that say on the screen? I don't know what that said.
Oh, you could have hit the organizer button, but now you can't because it like loaded in. Can you? Here, hit the organizer. Hit the organizer. Hit the organizer. Hit the organizer. Hit the organizer.
Not that one. No, don't save the game. Do I really need a basis for my claims?
Okay, check the testimony. Are you asleep already? I'm in front of the facilities when he's not right.
Ow, gotcha.
Wait, can I finish reading it? Hit the organizer. Fuck.
Right there.
Let's read the whole thing.
Fine.
President Hong is here of all places. What's more, crap, the light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. I can't believe it almost looks like he's being kidnapped, if I let you know. So, so yeah, the building, like, no, the building wasn't on fire yet. No, it was on fire earlier.
Yeah.
But, so...
Underneath a light post, I guess.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't save state.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Oh,
probably
the
that one
light
where there's
went
a-
out.
There's a light that's out in top left, top left, top left.
Ah. Oh, we thought the light went out here, but actually it went out over here.
Yeah.
Mr. Cameron said this on the answering machine. The light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. There are only 2 places here where the lights are broken.
The light by the orphanage.
Okay. Could you please update the recreation?
Roger.
Ah, here we go. This is so the kidnapper was near the orphanage. Indeed, with this we've shown the connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping. So that's why they moved the body and took a fake photo to create false testimony. Or remove any suspicion towards the orphanage in court. With this, the state of the recreation has changed completely. The time the body was discovered scene has probably been greatly impacted as a result.
Then let's go check it out right away. Preparations are ready.
Did it actually change this time, Kay?
I'll never tell.
Since the state of the recreation has changed once again, I should press the Y button and select K.
Hi.
Select. Where's like K? Hold on, let's finish that sentence.
Alright, yeah, I don't want to know. I recreated the scene.
I was gonna say, where's the button to recreate the scene on K? But then I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, oh no, let's not.
So I guess check the brick here or something. I don't know, just start checking stuff.
Yeah, this is a little weird. The blood just sort of fragments. The blood splatter above the snow, there certainly was a substantial amount. It's almost as if the murder was actually committed here.
But Mr. Cameron should have been attacked near the snowman.
Exactly. In that case, this blood must belong to someone else.
What? But the police report said this was Mr. Cameron's blood.
The one in charge of this case was Blaze the Best. It would have been simple for him to falsify that information.
But wouldn't it be faster to just clean up the bloodstains rather than falsify the information?
He wouldn't be able to do that. Think about it. Blaze knew that Mr. Cameron's body would be discovered here. In which case, the forensic department would naturally become involved.
Ah, a luminol reaction. They would have discovered it with the power of science.
Precisely. It would have been difficult to completely erase all traces of the blood. However, falsifying the results of a blood test would be much easier by comparison. You would just have to switch the results from the forensic reports.
Ah, what a bummer. Knowing those documents I read were falsified. It looks like Mr. Cameron's clothes were completely soaked in blood.
If the blood scattered here got into Cameron's clothes, that would mean at the time the blood stains here had not dried yet.
I see. So then, this certain somebody's blood was splattered here just a short while before Mr. Cameron was murdered.
Indeed, that's exactly right. However, if that's the case, wouldn't a new contradiction arise in this recreation? Boy, they are really getting their all out of this fucking mechanic, aren't they?
Yeah. So the thing is, the problem, right, is that why does the blood just stop where the fire ends,
Yeah.
right? Oh god, we still have no health.
Yeah. Let me just, we're not gonna get any health until we're done here as well.
I don't know what you check, though. Guess you could try it, but...
Yeah. This is a clear contradiction.
Huh? You mean this bloodstain?
Do you see how this bloodstain is broken up by the remains of the fire? This is proof that the fire occurred after the blood had scattered around the area.
Huh? But I thought the fire occurred before the murder.
It seems that information is suspect as well. If the fire had broken out after the murder, then the child who started the fire should have seen the body and the bloodstains. Why then did they not come forward as a witness? Stick to the plan, stick to the plan. There's a dead body there, but I still want to start a fire, damn it! It's likely they would have been that would have put Blaze at a great disadvantage. Guess we'll need to investigate this fire in more detail. What a surprise. Maybe it wasn't a child, but it was in fact Blaze who started a fire.
What, the guy whose name is Blaze started a fire?
Walks
No
around
way.
with a fucking lighter and
No
lights paper
fucking
on
way.
fire every
No
2 seconds?
fucking way.
Impossible. Hey, you! Yes, sir. There should be some records of the fire in the police department or a different case file. I want you to bring me every last investigative report about that fire ASAP. Understood, Shifu. Oh, and one more thing. What is it, sir? Contact the House of Lang in Zhengfa. There should be evidence from this case in my old man's room. What do you mean? I just remembered why I recognize this scene. A long time ago, I saw a picture in my old man's room. It was a drawing resembling the scene. What'd you say? However, I think it looked a little something like a child would draw. Do you know Larry Butts? What? God, no. A child. The artist may have been the culprit behind the fire. It should still be somewhere in my old man's room. Have them send it over here. Go check my old man's room. Understood, sir. You can just say father. No. Okay. Here we go again.
Mamma mia. Wow, it's still the same text. That's really funny.
The footprints here seem to lead to and from the body.
This is the same text, I think.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Originally, Mr. Cameron's body was here. In order to be consistent with the fake photo, he was moved to the center of the flower beds.
Then the footprints going back and forth from the body, could they be?
Indeed, there's only one possibility at the moment. These footprints were probably left when the body was moved to the flower beds. Okay. That makes sense. So they went over here, dropped the fucker off. Or they went up here and then they left back.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's silly.
Check the flower. Or no, we already checked that scene, right? Yeah.
Logic?
Maybe logic time.
It may be logic time. Put on your logic caps, children.
Probably not. Oh, we just wait. Like, I guess we have to figure something out while we're waiting for his photo, right?
Yeah.
You checked everything with the body there?
Honestly, we could probably go back to the time before. This probably changed a little bit.
Yeah.
No mistaking it. Mr. Cam was originally here when he took the photo. The killer took a brick from that flower bed and attacked him. Mr. Cameron was hit in the back of the head and grabbed the snowman's right eye as he fell.
And since we now know that Mr. Cameron's body was here, the state of the other recreation must have changed as well.
Indeed, in that case, perhaps we should go and investigate it. I'm having a fucking stroke.
Well, check out these two over here.
A flower bed.
According to the data, this facility had 3 gardens. Each of these gardens contain flower beds. Okay. This is during the winter, there are flowers in bloom. What a shame.
Thanks, Francisca.
All for a misclick.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
It's fine.
You're lacking in common sense, Edgeworth. Clicking on the wrong area like that. What a fool you are.
This is where the president and his kidnapper were really seen.
That is correct. However, now the orphanage can no longer avoid suspicion in the kidnapping. That's why it was necessary to distance the kidnapping site from the orphanage grounds.
Ooh, sneaky. So that's why they took the fake photo.
They disposed of Cameron's film and threatened the president near the road. Then, using new film, they took the false photograph.
If Blaze was in league with the kidnappers, he could conceal any incriminating evidence.
In fact, the SS5 incident case files have been sealed away until Blaze's recent downfall.
Ooh, the truth of this case is being revealed little by little.
I almost spilled them again. Indeed, however, some mysteries still remain. We'll need to be thorough in investigating any changes in the previous recreation. Send us back.
Yeah.
No, I don't wanna.
They'll fucking do it. Yeah, go back to the previous one. So, what did we miss? Can you check the lamppost? The other one. No, not really.
Actually,
Door?
we were talking about how the fire was wrong, so it wouldn't have been burnt here.
That's true.
Oh my lord.
This is old dialogue.
Yep.
I think we need to be on the the other recreation. They really want us to be on the other one. Check the flower, like the bottom flower bed. Oh, that's still part of that. Okay. Already checked.
None of the lampposts were on at this time.
Check the footprints or something? I mean, that's the only other thing I could think of. Right? Alright, those are still the same. What the fuck? Talk to Lang?
I did talk to Lang.
Nothing? Okay. I guess we have that.
Do-do-do. What the fuck? Do. Alright, I never tried this. Okay, I'm gonna kill someone. If we suppose that Blaze is one of the kidnappers, it becomes more likely that what he dug up yesterday is connected to the abduction. Oh. Did Emily not see my brain blast? I don't think she did. Darn. Well. Oh well. Oh. Good job, Dickord. Anytime you feel like it, Dickord, please reopen. Or don't. There really is no reason for Desmine to use as much resources on my computer as it does. Other emulators do not use that much. Except for Dolphin. Dolphin at least has more of a reason to use a bunch. Anyway. Hi. Crashed. I don't know how much you saw.
Last thing I saw was we were talking to Lang about nothing.
Ah, nice. I figured it out.
So did I think. So you had to show Kay. You have to show Kay the bloodstain, right? For
No.
her to update the. No, it's not it. Okay.
You had to connect the two pieces of logic that Blaze was a kidnapper and that he buried something.
Okay.
So all you really missed was Edgeworth being like, you know, if they're the kidnapper and he was burying something, then she's like, ah, what is it?
I figured it out. It was treasure. Treasure. Look, Joker, a treasure chest. Couldn't Blaze have dug up the ransom money? Well, you fucking said that!
The $100 million ransom, buried in the ground until the heat had died down. It's certainly possible.
I know, right? That just comes out of nowhere, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Alright. I think we all... Nope, never mind.
We're done.
Not even a full...
The investigation was definitely supposed to have died, like, the second Lang sent off the dude. But we still had to figure that out. Alright, we're done
It
here.
felt like so obvious, right? I felt like that's a obvious connection.
Sheep the one back. I brought the info on the fire the kid started and a photo of the drawing in your father's office.
Ooh, deliver this one.
Ooh, I've been waiting for this. Hurry up and hand him over. I've been waiting for this, yeah. I know. Can we talk about
I only
everyone's
played
shoes,
Persona
by the
4
way?
and 5, so I don't get it.
Everyone has cool
up?
shoes in this game.
Oh yeah. Except for Lotta, looks like there's some shitty ass Crocs.
I was actually going to say that Lotta has some, like, nice style of shoes. Like, I like the color, at least.
Yeah, the color. They look a bit crocky.
Subtle hitter is Nicole's. Nicole has nice shoes.
Yeah, I like Courtney's. I'd look at them up close.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. John's don't even look like shoes. He's just wearing black socks. Kate has great boots. His perfectly flat feet, Mr. Fucking, what's his name over there? Not Edgeworth.
Shields.
Yeah, Shields. Raymond's Shields.
Oh my god, Francisco's shoes. Oh my god.
Yeah, it has like a little bit of a wide... It's
It
not
does
like
it.
a tight stiletto boot. It's more like a wide stiletto boot.
Definitely want to get up close and personal.
Yeah, yeah. Lang also has some nice rocker boots. Gumshoe's just got some flat ones. It's alright. He lives. He exists. The information held by Agent Lang's father. Unbelievable. This looks just like... Is Larry Butts everywhere?
This isn't Larry.
This is it. It's exactly what I remembered. And look who it is. It's fucking Dogen. This is the picture drawn by the child depicting the night of the incident.
It sure looks like it was drawn with a child's touch.
As I thought, the one who drew this is most likely the child who started the fire. Shifu! What now? Sorry, it's gonna have to wait. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Why do you think my old man had this? Perhaps he obtained it during the course of his investigation into the incident. Although I don't know why he would have concealed it. Agent Lang might be able to see the details of the fire. Yeah, sure. Allow me to read it post-haste. The boy who started the fire snuck out of bed of the night of the incident. It seems this boy went missing several days later. What? Don't tell me he witnessed something he shouldn't have.
That's horrible. He was only a child after all.
Well, I'd hate for that to be the case. We can't rule out the possibility entirely. Huh? Apparently, the boy left some stuff behind at the orphanage, and it was taken as evidence. Yeah, I just had a thought.
What if... We might have the same thought. We did not have the same thought.
He's 24. He would have been 12 at the time.
So the thought I had
Yeah.
was that it's possible that like Sebastian could be not his like biological son, although they do look.
He would have been 5 at the time, and that's not really a thing Sebastian would have done. However, Simon Keyes would have been 12 at the time.
Oh, and he's known for starting fires.
Definitely arsonist age.
Yeah.
Although Raymond Shields, I don't know. He would have been 24 at the time.
Yeah,
That's a kid.
The young child age of 24. Yeah.
I mean, John Marsh, he would have been 1 at the time. That's arsonist age.
Oh yeah, totally.
Courtney would have been 14. She angsty teenage years, lighting fires.
Oh yeah, totally.
Penny. Okay, you got me. I set it on fire.
You got me.
Everyone keeps saying boy, so, you know, I assume
Well,
it's a boy.
Hey, you don't know what they were like 12 years ago.
That's true. Boy, the first gender transition in an Ace Attorney game,
maybe
they
that's
were
why
a
it's
kid
not
who set fires.
It's not localized.
What were they known for? Oh, they started a fire at an orphanage.
That's cool as fuck, though, right? Oh,
Not at an orphanage!
not at an orphanage. Arson elsewhere it can be cool as long as nobody gets hurt, but not at an orphanage.
Well, according to that one song from Epithet Erased, arson's overrated anyway.
I disagree. I think arson's pretty cool.
Apparently, the boy left some of the stuff behind at the orphanage and was taken as evidence. What's this? Oh! Well, there you go. Look at that. What's that doing here? Mr. Prosecutor, do you recognize this? Yes, I know one piece of evidence that's related to it. You probably would know the shape, wouldn't you, Mr. Edgeworth? Listen, my personal life is not connected with this.
Say one piece again, Mr.
Which piece of evidence is related to what the boy left behind? It's the mighty Mozilla doll's other horn. I don't know what it's doing here, but isn't that the missing horn from this Mozilla doll? No way, you mean this came off of the president's... You know of it? Yeah, I've noticed the president kept it close by as a decoration. I always thought it was strange how one of the horns was missing. If you twist the horn, this doll will play back any previously recorded audio.
So if we put the missing horn back in place, we might be able to hear a different recording.
Indeed.
That's so contrived.
It is possible the doll is currently on the 51st floor of the Grand Tower. I thought we had it with us this whole time. Hey, you heard that, right? Yes, sir, I'll be right back. It's gone, sir. Shivu, I got it, the mighty Mozilla doll. Well done. Give it to the prosecutor over there. I had to go through a trap door to get to the 51st floor? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
If we insert the horn found at the orphanage into the doll...
It's a perfect fit.
Well,
Like Cinderella.
can you hear anything? Speaking of shoes...
Amy.
I don't know who this is, but Amy's a girl's name,
Mr.
typically.
Huang, it's Amy. It's been a while. I saw the news that you would be coming to this country. I was really nervous about doing this, but I decided to send you a message. Please stop the playback.
Hello? Judge Courtney?
But what's wrong? Stop it, now! It's a boy. Your son. He's just been born.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Oh.
That's all I wanted to tell you. His name is John. John Marsh. It's a fine name for him, don't you think?
She's not the mother. Marsh? Did she just say John?
I'll be waiting in the courtyard of the orphanage at midnight on February 9th.
Wait a minute. Age dead. Thanks. Why isn't Jill Crane's age dead?
Even if it's just once, I want John to be able to meet you. I'm sorry if I'm being selfish, but I'll be waiting. No, wait. That was my... John.
What's the meaning of this, Miss Courtney?
John is not my biological son. He is adopted.
Did John know about this?
Of course he knew. John's mother, Amy Marsh, passed away about 5 years ago. She and I were cousins. Since we were young, we've always been really close. We were often mistaken for sisters. That's why, when she passed away, I thought it was only natural that I look after John. Also, there were circumstances which prevented me from revealing his father's identity. I never even told John his father's name.
And now it's all been revealed, thanks to this recording on that doll. Did John's mother send the doll to the president?
Hey. John. Was he... president really my dad?
I called this like so early on.
I think he did, yeah. Yes, he was.
However, I was calling that he and Courtney were
Yeah.
Which, this is a much better circumstance.
Yes, well, we don't know how old Amy was. Before you were born, Amy worked as a diplomat in Zengfa.
Oh boy, here we go again. A diplomat, so that must mean... That must be how she became acquainted with President Huang.
Hang on, didn't you tell me she worked at the orphanage?
Yeah.
Yes. After returning to this country, Amy left her job as a diplomat. She always had great passion for charity work, so she began working at the orphanage. Oh.
Hey, Miss Courtney. So this Amy girl, she called the president there herself, but she never showed up at the scene of the SS-5 incident. What's with that?
Amy couldn't make it. Apparently, someone had been following her the whole night.
Perhaps it was Blaze? I can't say for certain, but it's possible that it was his doing.
After that, Amy never got another chance to see the president again.
So she died 5 years ago. This conversation must be painful for John.
Oh, right. Hey, John, you thirsty? How about if I both some juice? We can go together. I'm a part of this too. I'll listen until the end. Besides, I can afford to buy my own juice. Oh, shot down by a kid. John, do you understand the reason I met with the president 2 days ago?
The secret meeting from 2 nights ago.
I wanted to tell him about Amy's death and that you were alive and well. But I
see. That's why you couldn't tell us the reason for meeting with the president until now. Oh, so he went down to the movie lot to see his son, like, practice.
Oh, that's really sweet, actually. I get it. She would have had to reveal his connection with John. I brought a bouquet of lion lilies, so that he would understand I truly did know about Amy. Those flowers are a dear memory to the president and Amy. The first present she received from the president was a bouquet of lion lilies. But now, even he has passed away. If only he were still alive. Perhaps I could have introduced him to John.
Shifu! I'm sorry to interrupt this atmosphere, but there's something I need to say. Oh, what is it now? Can't this wait? I love you! Yeah, that could have waited. Well, actually, there's another thing. One last item that's been delivered here from Zengfa. I have here the President's will. What? The President's will. Mailman received a great number of special medals from the President himself. As a token of his trust, the President left his will in the protection of the Lang clan. These medals and that, well, they were the pride of our clan. Our family treasures, so to speak. This is... Agent Lang, does that will have something to do with the current case? You bet it does. It says here, I hereby acknowledge John Marsh as my own son.
What? John's name is in the President's will.
Are you certain that that will was written by the President? Yeah, he entrusted it to the Lang clan, even before the SS5 incident took place. They'll have to appraise it back home, but by the name of the Lang clan, this is the real deal. Dijun Huang was the president of an entire nation. The existence of his son would have caused considerable controversy. However, he left behind a will just in case. This makes it doubly sure. I still can't believe it myself, but there's no room for doubt. John Marsh, you are the son of Dijun Huang, president of Zhengfa.
This is very Fire Emblem.
Gumshoes. Why even got the gumshoe?
John.
John. To be continued? Golly. Gadzooks. That's an awkward situation.
Yeah.
And he thinks he killed his father.
Oh god, yeah, he does think that, doesn't he? John. So that guy was my dad.
He found out about his own birth so suddenly. And furthermore, his newfound father is no longer in this world.
I'd always been searching for my dad. John. I get it, alright? He's the president. I know it's a complicated situation. But we even met face to face during the filming. So then why? Huh? Why didn't he tell me who he really was? I'm sorry, John.
Oh.
Mom, you don't need to apologize. No matter how you look at it, it's all my fault. Yesterday I broke my promise with you and didn't even notice the fire on the roof. I destroyed everything. I crushed it all. My dad, and those flowers that my mom carefully grew. John. Please, for now, just don't think about anything. Just stay like this for a little while. Just for a little while, okay?
The bond between a parent and child. That's the meaning behind Lion Lilies. I know it's not my style, but that flower is from Zhengfa. However, we have no means of protecting that bond. Agent Lang, allow me to say this. The case won't be solved by sentimentality alone. Therefore, shouldn't we do all we can to solve it? Yeah, you're right. The recreation of the past is finished, thank fucking God. Were your father's deductions correct? My old man took his deductions to the grave. He never told anyone about them. So, who knows if they were right or not? Well, in that case, what about your own deductions? I would like to hear what you think happened based on the recreation, in order for us to get closer to the truth of 12 years ago. Yeah, I was thinking it's about time. I can see it now. Mailman's back real close. I'll catch up to him for sure. To the truth that my old man uncovered. There's no mistake that the president went to the orphanage. The stuffed toy is proof of that. He was planning to meet with Amy Marsh. However, the president was kidnapped, and Cameron just happened to witness it. If Cameron hadn't been there, it probably would have just been a kidnapping with no murder. Afterwards, the body was moved to the flower beds and a fake photo was taken. Was that what really happened 12 years ago? However, there's one thing I still don't get. Something you don't get. It's this. Why do they need to take a fake photo? Why would they go through all that trouble and even make the president take part in the photo? That's true. However, the answer to that riddle must lie somewhere within. Once we get past the layer upon layers of deduction, we shall surely reach it. Yeah, that's right. I'd like to hear your deduction as well. But, old... Okay.
Right. Potentially. Right. Is this the truth of the SS5 incident? Mr. Edgeworth, what's the matter?
There's still something hidden behind this case.
Huh? What do you mean?
There's a piece of evidence that cannot be explained by Agent Lang's theory. As long as there's a contradiction, we'll have to present it in order to advance our reasoning. Well, the major problem at the moment is this stupid fucking bloodstain.
Oh, right. Yeah, you probably present that one on the thing where it's like there wouldn't have been a murder, right? Yeah, here.
Yeah, so what the hell's up with the blood?
I wonder... No, never mind. Oh, say something stupid.
If the eyewitness Cameron had not been there, no murder would have taken place. Is that really the case? Nice rhyme. The criminal's goals were only to kidnap the president. There was no witness, there would have been no need to commit murder, right? And what if Cameron wasn't the only one who was murdered? There was a large bloodstain near the flower beds. However, Cameron was murdered near the snowman. Ergo, this bloodstain could not have belonged to Cameron. Someone else's blood was spilled. Quite a vast amount at that. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, do you have any idea what you're saying? I do. It's hard to believe. However, that is what the evidence indicates. On that night 12 years ago, there were 2 murders. Are you saying that the other murder was covered up? Who the heck could have been killed? A murder that was cleverly concealed. All traces of it were erased, and the incident itself was completely deleted from the case files. However, there's one thing. One piece of evidence that still remains intact after 12 years. I guess my health got fully restored? Why?
I don't know. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Sure. I mean, the fire. Fire happened. Agent Lang, this is the piece of evidence that shows what happened on that night. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, is that really it? That piece of evidence doesn't tell me anything at all. Looks like that, wasn't it? I'm glad I got my health fully restored. That was nice of him.
Right.
Oh, yeah, the child's strong.
Well, check it. I mean... But the implication then would be that Dogen was killed, and he's alive, right?
Well, the bigger implication here is that Dogen doesn't have a fucking gun. He has a knife. And a dog.
That's true. What if
The other murder incident was buried in the dark by Blazed at best. However, there is still one piece of evidence that remains. Agent Lang, it survived by your father's hands. My old man, you say? Please recall, there was one more thing that was hidden along with the traces of the murder. And that is the existence of the boy who caused the fire. Why did Blaze make the boy disappear? It's because he saw something that he wasn't supposed to see. Did he actually kill a child? If so, that might be the first time in Ace Attorney they actually killed a child.
Yeah? What was the thing he wasn't supposed to see?
Everything is drawn in this picture. The drawing my old man had. The person drawn on the right is most likely the president. The Mozilla doll is also drawn near him. And the person standing opposite him is... well, take one guess. A man with a knife and a large black dog. He is none other than Sirhan Dogan.
What? The assassin?
Why would an assassin appear before a president? The answer is clear. Indeed, what occurred that night on the orphanage grounds 12 years ago was not a kidnapping. It was a presidential assassination. Oh!
Was he replaced?
I don't know.
Then Miss Roland and Mr. Blaze were...
Yes, the two were likely partners in crime.
I like this shot of them.
I do too. One furnished the orphanage to use as the scene of the incident, and the other covered up the young boy's testimony. It's likely that Mr. Cameron was murdered because he witnessed the assassination itself. Why does he still have the fucking beard? Didn't we confirm that that was not real?
I mean, this isn't a shot of them then. This is just a shot of them, right?
Fair enough. After all, the kidnapping never actually happened. You know, I just realized, didn't he have the beard in court? He burned his beard off, and then he had the beard again.
He got a new one. It's fine.
That was nice of them to give him another one. Stop messing around. You're saying that the president was assassinated 12 years ago? We just found his body today. He's been alive up until now.
That's right. I mean, we met him ourselves.
They had a stunt. That's why he didn't trust the Lang clan anymore. They killed the real president and then put his fake body double in there.
Yeah.
And that's why the person we met was such a loser. His face, like, deflated, and he became a scared old, like, glump.
Mm-hmm.
If the president was assassinated 12 years ago and the president's body was found today, that would imply that there were two presidents.
Yeah, and that can't be right.
Are you sure about that? There is the possibility that there were two presidents. That's right. Up until now, I've been getting a strange feeling from the president. So he was not actually watching the kid. He was probably trying to contact Blaze, and Blaze killed him.
Yeah.
Even so, I still respect the man. Zhengfa's a small country, but he carried the nation with his strength. The image of President Huang that Agent Lang described. You are wrong. He revealed his true form.
Joker.
Differs far too greatly from the President Huang we knew. As if they were two entirely different people. If there were in fact two Zhengfa presidents, exactly how would such a scenario be possible? What would make the existence of two presidents possible?
One of them was a body double.
If we were to assume that one of them was a body double, wouldn't it be possible then? A body double! President Huang possessed immense power and authority in Zhengfa. I'm sure there were those who envied his position and made attempts on his life. Yes, just as he was attacked a few days ago at Gourd Lake. A few days ago? What a fucking sentence. A few days ago.
Yeah.
It's true that there were those who sought Huang's life from time to time. But I can't easily believe that there were two presidents. At least not without any evidence. Do you have any evidence that proves that there were two presidents? Why, we sure do. It's around here somewhere.
What are you looking for? It might be something to do with the Mozilla stuff. No, that's not what I said.
It was at the Zengfa embassy until midnight.
That was like.
But he had an appointment at midnight.
I don't think that proves it.
Where's the Zengfa embassy?
I mean, it's probably nearby. It's an embassy, right?
How much fucking shit is nearby in this place? Everything is close to each other.
I mean, they're at the capital, of fucking Japanifornia.
I guess. Why is Zengfa so important to get their own embassy?
I'm sure many places have embassies.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you should start on the first evidence and just go through them one by one. Like, what's the letter? Like, the letter probably doesn't say it, but we gotta check. Like, going to where's the stone? Okay, no. Crime scene notes.
He dug up the president's body. That's why there's no blood. It's been forever.
When did it have decayed?
Somehow it didn't. Because it was covered over in concrete or something like that. Some way it was not.
I mean, there's a world.
From tremendous pressure.
Gunpowder residue.
Actually, wait, no, he didn't dig up the body. Right, because there were flowers involved in this incident as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Never
That would be
mind.
fucking crazy, though.
That would be crazy, but that makes absolutely no sense.
Check the... What's the commemorative photo? Right. Yeah, probably not this.
I love the idea that Nick Powers is in there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, and the kid's just like, listen, just stop talking to me.
Yeah. Probably not that. Not that. Check the photo. Doesn't look weird or anything. Not really relevant. Check the practice video. Oh, we don't get to see the zoom in anymore, right? Blue truck, mechanics gloves. There's no way, right? I mean, we should check, of course.
I don't even know why the fuck we still have that.
I think it'll somehow be tied into everything.
Insane.
You check this report. Dogen's chess partner, who's like, oh no, that's Knightley, right? He's one of Dogen's henchmen. That's Neely. A ring and chess. Maybe the report with like it talking about Dogen has something. It's something in there. Because presumably, right? Think about Patricia writing this to Blaze. They know, if they know that this assassination happened and this body double took over for the president, then presumably they know that Dogen killed the guy, and it probably would be a henchman of Dogen or somebody related to him that actually took the position, right? I don't know how this proves it, but I'm just trying to think because I don't think any of the evidence proves it currently. check this. Check this. Oh right. Yes.
Until midnight.
But I don't think that's relevant, right? Because that's the real president who was there. And
Yeah.
then he goes.
Here's
to
the problem.
courtyard.
Even if it's nearby, he was at the embassy until midnight. That implies he was there until it was 12. Then he had a meeting at 12. Why would he have a meeting not at like 12:10?
You can present this if you want, but if it's this, I'm gonna be mad because I don't think that proves shit.
Because he was at the embassy until 12, and then he was, yeah.
Because it's not like if it said he was there until 1 a.m., then it'd be like, okay, there's an hour discrepancy. But
Yeah. It's trying to be subtle, but like, he would still have to walk over there.
I think it's just a rounding error, right? Like, I'm sure that when it says until midnight, it doesn't mean that he left at 12:00:00, and I'm sure that the appointment at midnight doesn't mean he was here at 12:00:00, right? Like,
Yeah.
they don't, you know? Because the time death was around 1 a.m. That makes sense, right? That was the testimony? Huh. Actually... it almost looks like he's being kidnapped.
Actually, what time did he die? Around 1 a.m. Got it.
Yeah.
That's an hour discrepancy right there.
Well, it's not, because this would have happened, like... I don't think that...
The meeting would have happened at 12. Was he, like, holding him at gunpoint for a full fucking hour?
Well, like... It doesn't have to have happened, like... It's not like he walks onto the premises and then immediately... I don't know. I feel like that doesn't prove it. Right? That doesn't prove it. It's like maybe. But it's not like evidence. It's not concrete, as they say.
He had a meeting at 12
Right.
in the
And
courtyard.
then some other guy died an hour later. The blood would still be wet. That makes sense.
Yeah. The blood would still be wet. Because he was there. And he was seeing the president. But the president had a meeting at 12. So what was the president doing there at 1?
I guess? I don't know. I don't think it's the timing.
I think it is the timing.
Because the thing is, if there's a timing issue, then, like, that would have been... I feel like that's something that, like... If the logic is this timing doesn't match up, I feel like they would have already been like, hey, we have 2 brain cells. If this is such an obvious timing thing, you know, they would have already put that thing... Like, that feels like it's either not it or it's too obvious.
So here's what they did, right? Dogen murdered the real president of Zangfa, right? Do you agree on that? Alright. Their goal was twofold. Number 1 is the ransom, to get the $100 million. Number 2 was to implement a false new leader. And essentially just have a bunch of power control over Zangfa. So, hypothetically, what they wanted to happen was to have the president arrive at 12, kill him, and then, like, an hour later or whatever, somehow have a photo of him being kidnapped. Essentially, just kidnap a president, like, this false president, just, like, have him
Why did they have to
kidnapped.
do it an hour later?
They had to have... The thing I'm trying to, like, do here, like, cause, like, the photo ties really into it, right? They have the photo, and they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
we have the
they-
president kidnapped. So, and they're like, oh shit, well, they kidnapped the president. Well, fuck. Well, we gotta send the money. And they've returned the president. What I'm trying to figure out is how this ties back to Cameron. I think
it was just wrong place, wrong time.
it was wrong place, wrong time, but they still used the camera that he had.
Probably because once he was there, there is now evidence that there's a camera there. you can't perfectly get rid of that. So what they can do is they can replace the film.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to figure out is what was their plan if, like, a Cameron had not shown up?
I think it would have gone over... I mean...
The same, I guess?
Maybe the kidnappers and the murderer aren't the same crew, right? Because presumably, it feels as if Dogen and Roland are opposed to each other, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe they're not even the same crew.
Maybe Cameron was in on it.
Maybe.
He was like, "Oh shit, honey, yeah, you're never gonna believe this, but the president's being kidnapped. I think. Oh crap! Oh, the light went out. Ah, jeez." And like, someone came up and struck him with a fucking brick, and he was like, "Oh shit, thanks for the camera, asshole."
Check the next here. Check the later evidence. Alright, we have the testimony. Right.
You know, something's not quite right. You see, just all the places. What's more? Ah, crap, the light went out. I can't believe it. It almost looks like he's been kidnapped. You know, I just thought I'd let you know. Like, what the...
It is a little weird, but it doesn't get us out of this present evidence, right?
Yeah. Why would he say, I thought I'd let you know? What the fuck does that mean? Hey, I just thought I'd let you know. I'm witnessing a kidnapping right now.
If I went on a fucking late night Pokemon Go walk and I saw Biden being kidnapped, you know I would call Allie and be like, fucking pull out the party poppers. Like...
Well, you wouldn't say, you know, I thought I'd let you know, Allie, just for your little curiosity, you know, president's over here getting kidnapped. This is a very weird way of phrasing that.
Check the fake photo.
I didn't actually mean to select that. God damn it.
I was wondering.
I'm gonna go with what I was saying. It's like either the thing that has like the timing discrepancy or like the incident report itself.
I feel like a timing discrepancy. It's just like a boring answer. If that's it, that's fine, but I don't like it. Alright.
Has Agent Lang not noticed this contradiction? Or has he noticed it but can't admit it? What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't shout something out only to suddenly clam up. According to the recording on the doll, the president visited the orphanage at midnight. However, that should not have been possible.
Why is that?
Why? Because at the time, the president should have been at the embassy.
It said until midnight.
He was together with Agent Lang's father until midnight. So Agent Lang, you really did notice. He was in two places at the same time. Ergo, there must have been two presidents.
Again, they really should have made it say, like, until 12:30 or something. If you make it say the exact time, it just makes it sound like he left at midnight, which makes sense. It's a tiny, like, it's Japan, it's very tiny, everything's close together.
Hypothetically, but is there a map? Do we have a map of, like, this area?
Map of the Grand Tower, yeah.
Well, that doesn't help me. Do we have, like, the map that we keep seeing every once in a while?
Yeah, I think so. But even then, like, that's the map as it is now.
Well, the Grand Tower's in the exact same place as the orphanage.
Yeah, but, like, you know, the rest... if a giant tower got built there, I think the rest of the city could also change.
And it does not look like we have the map on us. God damn it. Well, all I'm saying is...
But that also doesn't make sense, right? Because I mean, I guess they'll explain it. But in theory, right, if he's... Because if he's at the embassy until midnight, and then he leaves, meanwhile, the imposter is... Like, was the imposter the one that was killed? Why was the imposter
the
there
real one was
early?
killed. It's because he left early to arrive there, and the imposter was at the embassy.
I guess.
And then the imposter left the embassy, arrived, and then, like, at 1 a.m. all this shit was happening.
It just seems really weird. I mean, they'll explain it, but...
So they probably already had, like, a camera planned, but then this fucking asshole was wrong place, wrong time, saw the first president, and was just like, ah, shit. Kill him. Or kind of. Not really, but you know what I'm saying.
I think this could have been
Oh.
demonstrated better. Then which of the two was the real president on that day 12 years ago?
Most likely the one who died. Who? Who contacted Dogen to murder Huang? In order to learn that first, we must have a look at the evidence that we proved was false earlier. And the piece of evidence we know to be false is...
The photo.
Yep. The photo taken with Cameron's camera was taken after he was murdered. And he was murdered because he witnessed the presidential assassination. In other words, the photo must have been taken following the assassination. Given that, who is the president pictured in the fake photo? We must consider him to be the body double. In other words, the body double had the real president murdered and then took his place. Patricia Rowland and Blaze must have cooperated in that plan. Hold it! Huang's body was never found! Just where could it have disappeared to? The answer to that is already quite apparent. This is where the real president's body was. It was in... the hole. So I need the testimony for Knightley. I had to rest in the flower bed 12 years ago. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, can you put the jokes aside? Can't believe that Huang's body was in that kind of place.
Maybe
I guess it wasn't there.
The footprint.
Yeah. What if we were right? What if he actually was buried here somehow? There's no way. There's no fucking way.
I mean, where the fuck else is it, right? I think it actually might. I mean, I don't know what else they expect us to say. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Last night there was something Blaze had to unearth with his own two hands.
It might not be the body that we saw.
That item was not the ransom. It was something far more important.
Ah, so Blaze unburied
the real president's body. The possibility is quite high. What'd you say? The bones from the body buried 12 years ago would have still remained. Oh!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to Mr. Powers, construction was to begin soon at this lot. That was the deadline. Both for the movie and retrieval of the body.
Because they would have found the body when they started the construction.
Agent Lang, let us search the footprints that Blaze dug up. Yeah. The body was buried there. There'd be traces of it. Hey! Someone call forensics!
I have the results of the search. We found traces in the dirt that suggest a body was buried here.
A body?! So it was Huang after all.
We also recovered the skeletal remains that Blaze DeBest dug up. They were at his home. In addition to the bone structure, the dental records and the bone fractures all match up. We can confirm it was indeed President Huang.
Insane. So the real President Huang was indeed killed 12 years ago. The SS-5 incident was a murder.
So
A double
the SS-5
murder.
incident was actually a murder incident.
I mean, we already knew that, but now it's a double incident.
But there's so much information, it's way too confusing.
Indeed. Let us take this opportunity to review the details of the case.
First, the real president came to the orphanage, right?
12 years ago, the true President Huang visited the orphanage in order to meet his son. The footsteps in the snow that we thought belonged to Mr. Cameron were most likely made by the President at the time. He's got big feet, too. President Huang was supposed to meet his son here. D. However, the one who actually showed up was the assassin Sirhan Dogen.
He came here to meet his son, but was murdered instead. How horrible.
A man like Dogen shows no mercy. And after that, the second tragedy occurred.
You mean Mr. Cameron's murder?
Indeed, Mr. Cameron saw the decisive moment. After the real president was killed by Dogen. His body was carried to the rear courtyard by the team of kidnappers. Mr. Cameron must have witnessed that moment. from the orphanage entrance. Although he himself believed that he had actually witnessed a kidnapping. Furthermore, by this time, the body double
who had come to meet up with Blaze and Miss Roland was already standing behind Mr. Cameron. So the body double was in the embassy?
until 12.
So, okay, how did he...
And then left at 12, got here, and then the person, or the James Cameron, or John Cameron, whatever the fuck his name, Jack Cameron, was there, and he died at 1, which means there was like an hour.
If I was gonna body double for somebody that I was, like, having killed, I'd fucking be there before the person dies. That's really stupid, though, right? Like, to show up, like, an hour later?
I don't know!
That must have been, like, a severe fuck-up, right? Like, they're gonna explain why, like, oh, he got, you know, Lang's dad wouldn't let him leave or something for an hour.
Something like that. Then the witness of the incident, Mr. Cameron,
was killed by the body double. So is Mr. Cameron's corpse also carried by the body double?
Yes, that seems likely.
But there wasn't anything at the crime scene that looked like the body double's footprints.
I've already figured out how we accomplished that. There's a piece of evidence that would have made it possible. It is possible. For the body double to use to move the body without leaving any footprints. The victim's shoes. This is almost certainly how the body double carried Mr. Cameron's corpse. After Mr. Cameron was killed, the president's body double carried him into the middle of the garden. I suspect the body double is wearing the same shoes as the real president at the time. He made sure to step precisely on top of the footprints left by the real president. Very possible to do.
Ah, since the shoes were the same, there would only be one set of footprints left behind in the snow. I think I've got a pretty good grasp on the SS5 incident now. But there's still one thing I don't get.
And what's that?
Why did they need to stage the abduction?
Because Mr. Cameron witnessed the incident. He saw the president at the orphanage. He left behind witness testimony on Mrs. Crane's answering machine.
Yeah, so it was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. So actually, literally the only reason they needed to take the picture was just, you know,
Yep.
for that.
Makes sense.
Even Blaze could make that disappear. Ergo, the body double needed a reason for the president to have been at the orphanage.
And that's why they prepared the fake kidnapping charade.
The people in the fake photo are the body double, and most likely Patricia Rowland. The person in the coat... Oh, that's
The person in the coat is Miss Roland? What makes you say that?
The two would have had to leave the orphanage in order to take the picture. Just like when he moved the body, the double used the real president's footprints.
Ah, so the second set of footprints must belong to the person in the coat.
Indeed, we originally believed that these footprints belonged to Cameron's killer. They were size 7 footprints, too small for Blaze's feet. Thus, we can presume that the person playing the part of the kidnapper was Patricia Rowland. Hidden in the shadows of the presidential kidnapping was a presidential assassination.
Forensics, someone check Patricia Rowland's feet! I'm not doing that, man.
Why not? Come on, do it. Come on, man. It's for the investigation.
Please.
I see. So that's why my old man... Why he what? The old man must have realized that a murder had taken place. After all, he had the kid's drawing.
However, that picture was never presented as evidence.
They would have been laughed out of the fucking courtroom.
You know?
Your father likely took it from the young witness during the investigation and hid it. He had to have known that Huang was dead. But what if he had revealed that back then? Revealed the death of the president, the backbone of Zhengfa. It would have caused chaos. And that's why my old man took the secret to his grave. He even took the blame for the kidnapping, knowing that that would fall on the House of Lang. So this is the truth that Agent Lang's father hid 12 years ago.
And now it's all become clear.
There's just been a body double for 12 years. This, I think, is our good buddy.
Dick Heller.
Yeah. Is that really the case, I wonder?
Huh?
What? Who's there? Oh, it's Dogen. That bell. It's...
I think, it's 2 a.m. I think this is a good place to leave it.
Sirhan. Dogen! Yeah. Do you think he has his dog with him?
Maybe. We'll find out next time. Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Do. Well, I do like the timing discrepancy because I was able to figure it out, but I do understand why that was confusing. And I do like your idea that they could have like added an extra half hour to make it make more sense.
Yeah, well, it's that, and it's also just like, I don't know. I feel like a time discrepancy is like a pretty boring gotcha, right? Like
It's a subtle one though, and that's
it's,
why.
but it's not subtle. I thought of it very quickly, but I was like, oh well, it's not that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just just not braining it right. But I feel like, I mean, they did timing discrepancies in the first trial of the first game. I feel like it wasn't gonna be the big like, oh.
They don't do them that much anymore. They like really knock down on the time discrepancies. But like the reason that this time discrepancy is neat is because it's like attached to something that's like fucking insane.
I mean but that's why it felt felt kind of like a letdown, because it's like, oh, what's like the I thought it would be like some evidence we've had all along that shows that there's an evidence of a second guy the whole time, but instead it's like, no, there's just a small time discrepancy. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be something cool, like we look back in like one of the like older evidences, and it's like, wait,
like Lotta Heart's testimony, and be like, wait, what?
Yeah, and we see like a picture of him, and he has like a scar or something, and we're like, wait, he never had that scar, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Something that was like in our faces for like a while is what I was expecting. Which, you know, if I set my expectations higher than they should be, that's
wait, he had that mustard stain on his coat the whole time. The body double produces mustard from his skin. He had a rare condition. Mustardosis. Yeah,
I would probably jump off a bridge if I had that.
God, that would be terrible. Hey, XSplit, you gonna open and not crash this time? Okay, good. Thanks, bud. Yeah, that was a fun session. It was a meaty session too.
It was generally, despite the the thing at the end, it was very good.
Despite that, and also despite the intensity that was back and forth of little Mr. Thief.
Yeah, they give you the option to switch, but basically any time that you need to switch, they tell you to switch. They might as well
very overhandedly they tell you to switch.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be that.
Yep.